Hello friends, how's it going? It is Thursday again. Yeah. So that means another good day. We got another Inside Star Citizen, another update on the development of the game. This should be a good one. I'm thinking maybe a new ship or two, possibly a new vehicle, but definitely a good update right here. So decided to take a break from the 315 review for a second and check out what they've got for us this week. Let's get into it and have some discussion.
We're sitting on the Pyro 4. Storms have been raging for ages. You can't get a ship down there. Turbulence is too much. Visibility is completely shot. The people in the base, they've got their anti-air set up as well. And then suddenly they're hearing the rumbling of Tyre moving across the hillside. Just hordes and hordes of Spartans. And you know they're filled to the brim with people who are just stocked up.
Sitting ever so calmly.
They're locked and loaded and they're just ready to get out and just go, well, this base is going to be ours now because you protected against the air. But you did nothing for land.
These people didn't hear about A2s.
As Star Citizen evolves and the systems get larger and more of them come online, and gameplay features come online, we've been looking at the ways that players get to places. And as you saw at CitizenCon, one thing that is becoming very apparent is that a lot of locations are going to be well defended from the air.
You've got
had so much time. I mean, obviously they weren't done trying to evade.
Anti-aircraft cannons. You've got protection for this ground structure. It might be that there's a big storm coming in. It might be that visibility is low, and with a lot of our ships, you're limited on how you can approach, and that's kind of where the Anvil Spartan comes in. The Anvil Spartans are first dedicated armored personnel carrier.
You have 3 ways onto the vehicle. You have 2 entrances in the middle, so you have left and right entrance and exit.
It's quite the noise.
And then you have a more traditional troop transport rear folding ramp.
Just intense audio for that door.
It can carry up to 8 troops plus their weapon loadout.
This has theaters of war written all over it.
It's got space for 1 crew member who's going to drive the thing.
That looks cool.
It's fast because if it wasn't fast, you may as well just run there yourself.
Anvil's a very well developed manufacturer within our universe, and we had a really strong base already with the ballista.
In terms of defense, it is quite well armored, especially compared to the ballista, and it retains the dual size 2 gun that is operated by the driver on top of the cap. The Spartan is built off the same chassis that the Anvil Ballista is, which is we're terming the Anvil Atlas. The Anvil Atlas is the shared platform that both the Ballista and the Spartan sit on.
While it may seat 8 troops in the vehicle, I don't see why you couldn't cram literally as many as can sit down or stand up on top of it. Just may want to be careful of the turret on the vehicle itself. I mean, I tested it. You can definitely shoot your friend if they're on top of it.
Ouch.
There's nothing to stop it doing that.
One of the sort of visual features a lot of people notice on the exterior of the Spartan is the ladders on the side, and at the initial release these are unfortunately not usable, but they are fully intended that players will be able to get on them in the future and then clamber on top of the vehicle, and then it's up to you whether you want to do some offensive or defensive capabilities.
I want to take the turret off the top and drop a grenade on the inside. If I can't do that, then this game is going to fail.
The Spartan releases straight into the game in Star Citizen Alpha 3.15.1, and I'm super excited to see how players use it. We always have our intention, but there's always cool and innovative ways that players use our ground vehicles.
The Anvil Spartan is the latest ground.
It's definitely besides the theaters of war complication, the fact that they're talking about how they're organizing these scenarios, it's definitely like a different conversation than we were having even before when we talked about outposts. They're definitely looking at like the gameplay on the planets, and the outposts is more of a main part of the game that we're going to be doing. I guess it seems like the introduction of Pyro is going to change gameplay a little bit to become even more focused on planets than it was before. It's kind of the vibe we were getting at CitizenCon too.
Ground vehicle making its way to the persistent universe, and doing so straight to drivable during this year's IAE festivities. So be sure you check out the website for all the remaining details. And up next, a ship whose journey from concept to reality took a different path than most. The Aegis Redeemer is up next in our IAE special Inside Star Citizen.
We've been cut. Okay.
The Redeemer is the first ship that was actually designed by the backers.
It sort of was a product of its time, and the game evolved quite a lot since then. We knew we wanted to reinvent the ship, and it's quite a different beast from back then.
These turrets are huge on this thing.
We've spoken in the past about how the Redeemer was originally a hybrid dropship gunship, and over time we've expanded the lineup of our ships to make the dropship side of the Redeemer redundant. So it was decided that we would fully focus on the gunship side. It is there to come to an area, absolutely annihilate and control the skies and the ground around it.
I'd say the Redeemer is good for a group who want good offense while also having pretty decent defense. At the front of the ship we have the cockpit, which obviously holds the pilot seat and dashboard. When it came
Fire extinguisher. Can't be missing out on that.
to the Redeemer cockpit, we actually used the Gladius as a base. We wanted to make sure we had very good visibility, and obviously the Gladius has that. It's not exactly the same as the Gladius, but you might see the similarities there once you're piloting the Redeemer. The pilot guns are ballistic cannons. You go down those steps and we've got the 2 remote turret seats at the front. The guns that are attached to the remote turret on the Redeemer are actually size 3 laser cannons. Now, if there is nobody in the front remote turret, that gun can also be controlled by the pilot, so then it has full control of its own guns and the front remote turret.
Very powerful ship. It's like, I would not want to run into a Redeemer if I was in anything smaller than like a Caterpillar. Even that. Just, there's a lot of guns on this thing.
We've got the first manned turret in the turret room.
That doesn't look like a turret posture.
The manned turrets are using size 5 ballistic Gatlings. The guns that we've made for the manned turrets have actually been made new for the Redeemer.
Oh.
Not specific to the Redeemer, but this is the first time that you'll get to see them and use them.
That wasn't even on the weapons. We're getting a lot of like weapons and armors added to the game, not on the roadmap, which is nice.
We have the 4 crew seats in the turret room as well. And then behind there is the component room where you can access all of the components. We have huge power plant, shield generators, coolers. They are massive.
Just throw it on your back, walk it out. Fine.
If you go down the ladders, where we have a airlock door control there as well, we go into the habitation area. In the habitation area, we've got a fully stocked fridge with usable drinks.
It's got beans.
So, you can have a little party in the...
I'm sorry, are those pills? Oh, I thought that was just a jar of pills
usable
in the fridge.
drinks. So, you can have a little party in the habitation
Just
area
say
of the
party.
Redeemer if you want. We've got 4 escape pods for the crew. And we have a toilet and a 2 SCU cargo hold at the back as well.
Oh, that's not bad.
And you exit via the ramp.
This ship's got a freaking lot. These small ships have great interiors.
One of my favourite bits of the Redeemer is the nutcrackers, the side engines. We haven't got anything else in game that's like that.
They add a lot of animation and life to the exterior of a ship.
So they will open up with increased velocity. They're closed as default when the landing gear is out. And we're hoping to get some more movement in there in future. So we want to have them rotate side to side when you're moving around more in the ship as well.
with all that said about the Redeemer, we've seen...
Wait, what does that mean? Rotate side to side? Huh. Like they swivel?
What it was, how it is now. I think there's only really one last thing to say about it, and it's something that we've said many, many times about various ships, and this ship in particular, and a lot of ships, to the point where it has almost become a meme. But this is absolutely the ship that punches above its weight class.
It
So what
does.
we learned this week-
It does, right? But does the Ares? I don't know. I feel like oh, these freaking weight classes. I tell you what. Someday I want to be a Star Citizen ship because I want to punch that high.
Well, we learned that a Star Citizen continues to expand into new gameplay systems like inclement weather and new outpost systems with advanced anti-air. So too come with it the need for ground-based troop transports like the Anvil Spartan. That we can finally close the book on the next great starship with the Aegis Redeemer, and that it may look different than most, but it looks deadliest when you're right in front of it. It'll bring the pew. Now, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo begins this week, so don't forget to log in and make the trek to Microtech to experience all the festivities. And we'll be back right here next week with looks into 2 more additions to Star Citizen's pantheon of spacecraft and vehicles. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Enjoy your IAE, everyone, and don't forget to check out new merch on the merch store.
Merch. Freaking Pico slippers. So that's, I thought they were going to introduce the other ships this week, but they didn't, and that's okay. This is a IAE Inside Star Citizen. Generally, at this time of year, we get a little less of the juicy stuff and more just kind of covering of IAE as it gets into full gear starting tomorrow. For anybody who's watching this and doesn't know, this is a big event. It's going to be running for, I think, 12 to 13 days or 14 days. Completely free for everybody. Just make a profile on the website, download the game in the launcher, and you can get into there for free. Try all these ships out. It's pretty cool, but it's a giant sale. The whole thing is a huge sale. Don't go in there and want to buy ships. Just don't buy ships. People who want to buy ships can buy ships for supporting the game, but if you just want to play the game, do not fall into that. Just enjoy it. This was unfortunately, I think, I was hoping they were going to show a little bit more features here that they're working on for 3.16. It's interesting that we are getting some walkthroughs of these ships. When the walkthroughs of these ships are, everybody's going to come out with their own anyways. I think we've already gotten plenty. I wish that in Inside Star Citizen, they'd try to stick more to the stuff that we just can't access. But like I said, it's IAE week. Sometimes we get an episode like this. Spartan seems cool. It'll have to prove its point sometime in the year's future after Theaters War comes out. But this is another ISC, and that was my reaction to it. If you are looking for more, though, make sure to check out my main channel. I'll be putting out the review for 3.15 tomorrow, and hope to see you guys later. Have a good one.